None of us can say that we've gone through life without making any mistakes. None of us can say that we haven't told the odd porky now and again. We're all human, and none of us are perfect, none of us. We will occasionally get things wrong. The test is how you react when that happens. We all live by sets of rules, and as elected representatives, we have our own, which we are expected to and must abide by. We must accept that if we break those rules, there can and should be consequences. Now, I don't know Michael Matheson. I've never had a conversation with him. I don't have a view on what he's like as a person. I do know that he committed a serious error involving a huge bill to the public purse that he tried to wriggle out of it and only stumped up when he was banged to rights. I can also say that there is an arrogance about his response to the inquiry into his behaviour and the suggested punishment that I find distasteful. And I was astonished by the comments from the First Minister last week, but at least common sense has prevailed in this chamber. Now, I've read the reports from the corporate body and the Standards and Procedures Committee. The job of the first was to establish whether Mr Matheson, who asked them to investigate, had breached the rules under which we operate as MSPs, and its findings were crystal clear. Mr Matheson was guilty and had not met the standards of behaviour which people expect us to hold to. It was not their job to decide what should happen to him, if anything. That was the job of the Standards Committee, and that was their only job. It was not their job, as they made clear in their report, to re-investigate. Now, we know what they suggested, and we've just voted on it. That 27-day suspension and 54 days without pay is a record, but it's an extremely serious offence. Now, we've just had a vote. The SNP bizarrely abstained. I was disappointed in the comments from Kate Forbes, but we must move on. And can I briefly turn to the explanation provided by Mr Matheson that his sons watched 2 football matches on their own device and used his iPad as a hotspot to do so. And they knew nothing about it until much, much later. A football fan like Mr Matheson would surely have known his sons were going to watch an Old Firm game and would surely have discussed what they watched with them afterwards. It would actually be a natural thing to have watched it with them. And most people would think that a father and his sons might discuss how they were going to watch key football games before they even went on holiday. If Mr Matheson worked for a private employer and did what he did, he would be out on his ear. He's lucky that he does not. He's also lucky that he doesn't sit in the UK Parliament, because if he did, election aside, he could be facing a recall process. And that, no doubt, would see the end of his political career. Yet he faces no such process here because we don't have one. And that is why he should resign. I believe this legislative deficit needs to be fixed, and that's why I'm bringing forward a Members' Bill which, if supported, will do just that. And it will tackle the very important issue raised by Willie Rennie about what do we do with regional members. I have a solution for Mr Rennie. Now, when the bill is published, hopefully before the summer recess, I had planned to say that I hoped it would be legislation that would never be used. I do hope that. But as I said at the start, we're all human, and humans make mistakes. So there will be other Michael Mathesons. There will be the Scottish Parliament equivalents of Margaret Ferrier or Peter Bone. Sometime in the future, if Parliament votes to have a recall process, it will be used. Now, I will outline the details of my proposals in the next few weeks. My bill is there to protect the integrity of this place, and I hope those who say they value that will support it. The public will expect nothing less.